Hi, welcome to this Blender video tutorial entitled Empty Object. An empty object is a non-renderable object that represents a point in space. To add an empty object, press Shift-A and select Empty from the Add menu. An empty object is represented in Blender as an access icon. I'll turn off my transform widget so you can see this better. Although it is non-renderable, a Blender empty object still has a location X, Y, and Z, a rotation X, Y, and Z, and an X, Y, Z scale. An empty object is often used as a placeholder or a proxy object. In most cases, it's used as a parent to other objects. For instance, here I will press my B key and select the two monkey objects and the tube object, and then I will hold down my Shift key and add an empty object to the selection. Then I will press Ctrl P and make the empty object a parent of the other three objects. I can now select the empty object, press my G key, and move the three objects by moving only the empty object. An empty object is used in this manner frequently during the animation process. I'll undo the parenting of the empty object. An empty object is also sometimes used as a reference point. For instance, I will select the tube object and tab into edit mode and deselect the vertices. Suppose I need to reference this center vertex on the side of the tube multiple times during modeling. I can press Shift-S and snap my cursor to the selected vertex. I will then tab out of edit mode. Pressing Shift-A and adding an empty object will now place that empty object in the same location as the vertex. I now have an empty located at this reference point and can snap either my cursor or another object to that exact location without having to place the tube in edit mode. An empty object is also sometimes used as part of a constraint system. For instance, here I will select the camera object and I'll add a Track To constraint. I'll make the first empty object I added as the target of the constraint. I'll set the to -Z and the up to Y. Now the camera is constrained to track to or look at the empty object. Moving the empty object changes the pointing of the camera object. If the camera object is moved, it maintains its attitude towards the empty object. This is a convenient method for focusing and animating the camera or what the camera is focused on. Empty objects can also be duplicated, and one empty object can be a parent of another empty object.